Welcome to Oregon Voters Digest, the program that brings forward the social and political issues that are important to people living here in the Pacific Northwest. And now, your host, Bruce Broussard.
Welcome again to this segment of the Oregon Voters Digest. I'm Bruce Broussard, your host today. And with me, I've got another host, if you will, on this show, the producer's show. And it's Richard Carpenter. Richard is joining me here now. It's been kind of like trying to get it together, if you will, so that we can effectively bring our guests in. And so consequently, this is what we're doing. So what we're going to be doing this show today. And between Richard and I, we're going to be talking about the issues, both from a national perspective, both from a local perspective, and just whatever's on our mind, okay, at this point in time. And then from that point on, hopefully we will be bringing the guests in. We'll know exactly what we need to do. If you'll notice, we don't have the masks on, but here in the studio, it's required that we have to have masks on if you're in the studio. But if you're in the recording room, you don't have to have masks on. But we have our masks here with us, so that as soon as we get through doing the show in the recording, in the actually recording room chambers, we don't have to have them on, but we have to have them on outside when we walk through that door. So we do have our, and you also have to have your cards. You have to have your cards, right? You have to have Richard over here.
They've written articles on how people that can't hear well.
Right.
Someone that's wearing a mask.
Right, exactly, yes. So they've adjusted to that.
Right.
They've adjusted for that, just for you, the viewing audience, because in all due respect, we want to make sure that you hear what's being said and it's not confusing. And it's not irritating, and that's another reason why we're here in the studio, because even the Zooming sometimes has problems because sometimes the photos freeze up and I'd gotten a number of calls from some of the viewers, the fact that it's annoying, you know what I mean, and it takes off the concentration and the focus on what's being said, which is a very, very important piece about what's being said. So I just want to preempt that from the standpoint to let you know just exactly what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. Ordinarily, you would think that if in fact that that's an issue. In fact, we could just jump right up in this situation right now, because from a national perspective, let's talk a little bit about the mask and this, that, and the other. It's been said that nationwide, was it daily kind of like 1,500 people a day are dying or something like that. It's a large number. It's a large number.
Right.
And that is a major concern. And the so-called World Health Organization, and then through naturally and every nation has their own criteria. How do they respond to that piece? And I guess here in the USA, which we're very interested in, and the USA, we're responding to it. And one other thing is, from a national standpoint, is that I notice the news now has been broadcasting the fact that the president is pretty well taking a lead role now, and dealing with businesses and other to make sure that they wear the mask. I mean, there's all sorts of criteria. They're wearing the mask. They're taking the vaccine. Understand that there's still about 80 million people that are still out there.
Everywhere I go, people are wearing them.
Yeah, they're wearing them all over.
Just all wearing them.
But the vaccine is still an issue nationwide. Because,
oh yeah, that's the problem.
You got 80 million people that haven't taken the vaccine, and so even if you wear the mask to a certain degree, the air still goes around that mask. It's not the 100% security aspect of it you want, but with that vaccine, that helps it out quite a bit. Because if you got the vaccine and you wear the mask,
you're in good shape.
Then you're in good shape. And if you have your card, in fact, once you show your card there, Richard, this is the card that he has, and he knows he's got this thing.
Oh, they can't.
Okay, no, they see it. Okay, yeah, they see it. But anyway,
got two different dates, and it's got Pfizer.
Okay, good.
Pfizer.
But the idea is that you've got your card.
Yeah.
It's right there on you, and so when you go to grocery stores or restaurants or anything of that nature, they see your card.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's
and
right.
some have said that you can also take a photo of it on your phone, on your smartphone, and you can show them that too aspect of it. But a lot of people don't have phones. A lot of people do have phones, but that's a good way of doing it.
This is the best way.
That's the best way. But then at the same time, people talking about these cards, they could be forged cards too. I mean, that's another problem. How do they make sure that those cards are real? You know what I mean? That's another issue about whether or not, in fact, those cards are going to be. At least it's a start, right? You got me? You're not going to get everybody, but it's being told about the seriousness of this pandemic that we're under right now. There's a seriousness in it, and I think, in all due respect, we're sort of divided on that piece. Everybody's got their own definition of it. We don't have a focal point about that from the entity, and I think the idea of the president, the buck stops there from a national perspective, makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Okay, but and I think that works right. And so the whole idea is to make sure you get that communication to the people as a whole. Now, when you start thinking about people as a whole, I mean, how many people watch the news? I know more seniors watch the news than anybody of all in this country. More seniors, okay? Got me? They look at the TV. It's almost like another roommate, if you will, because that's the only thing they have access to, in some cases, to outside and look what's going on. So seniors, right? Then you've got middle class kind of folks. You know what I mean? People that the moms and dads. That kind of, they watch the news. They're older, if you will. I'd say maybe 35, 40 and above. I'm talking about the news stuff right now, the newsy stuff. But kids don't watch the media. They do not read the papers. They don't look at the news. And so the kids, how do you get to them? And I want to throw that on the table. What do you think? I mean, I got some ideas about it. I'm gonna let you go first. I've been doing all this talking to this point. How do you think that? How do we reach the kids on this?
December 7th, 1941, my dad took me out and got me a Oregonian paper route.
Okay.
Just like that.
Okay.
Just like there's no question you're going to have a Oregonian paper route. And so I did that for years.
And what was the purpose of doing that?
And that's when I read every headline. I couldn't help but read every headline that was in the paper about all the different things that were happening during the war.
Okay. But how do you motivate the kid to accept the route? Nowadays, I mean, nowadays it's kind of hard to get the kids to do things.
I don't know about today. If they could read the paper while they're playing their games, then they might read about what's going on.
Yeah. Well, again, to it, another way I was thinking about was this rapper stuff, because people were singing at one point in time. Now they're rapping. Folks are rapping, and I know it's with some young people, the rap thing is where it's at, right? You got me? And so if we can get rappers, if you will, and promote that to the kids at large, and do a visual show,
okay,
that they can see this, they get the top rappers, if you will, the top rappers, let's say in the U.S., and then they do represent quite a bit of young folks. They represent quite a bit of young folks. And if the rappers would come on and talk about the mask, right? About wearing the mask, got me? And the vaccine shot and talking like you by basically wearing those, got me? Maybe putting some photos on it, some things that they would adhere to. They would like wearing it, right?
All right.
Or they would like talking about the vaccine and the mask aspect of it. Maybe doing some other thing, putting some photos on the deal, doing their personal photo or something of that nature. But my point is that we got to get something that will really get those kids from 12 years old on up, or better yet, 10 years old on up, because they're getting a little bit more.
Well, even adults are refusing to get.
Exactly.
I never heard of natural immunity. That's
right.
A new one.
Exactly. So that is definitely the issue. We got to get the people to understand what's going on, and then when you start talking about the older adults, if you will, not the older senior citizen, 60 or better, 65 or better aspect of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones up to that particular point that, maybe 30 or maybe yeah, let's say 25 on up, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you get those folks motivated? But we got such a political thing going on right now within our midst that they've politicized this whole pandemic piece aspect of it. See, they politicize. So as a result of this politicization aspect of it, people are kind of like, they don't take it. I mean, we got in this political thing, half of the population say, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take the vaccine. And then you got another group that says, I'm not going to wear the mask. I mean, it's just crazy as heck. So how do we get to that group? Any ideas?
I don't know. I tried. There's two where I am. Two that I know about that I've been trying to get vaccinated, but I got in trouble because I try to be too forward, and so I've had to back off and just say, okay, forget it.
Gee.
They don't realize it's not them we're worried about. We're worried about the people that are around them.
Yeah, right.
That's
right.
the thing to worry about.
That's a tough deal, and I think maybe one of the solutions is that if the two main parties, you got Republicans and Democrat both, if they would sort of talk about the fact that we got to maybe say, okay, fine, let's take the politics out of this piece. As far as the pandemic piece aspect of it, we're not going to bring that to the table. We're not going to use that against one another, because the Republicans will use it against the Democrats will use it against the Republicans. It's about, hey, it's about our way of life here. I mean, figure if imagine going at 1,500 people a day dying.
Yeah.
They need to see some visuals for a minute. I mean, they have to see, maybe take some shots of people in the hospital like they do periodically, but don't just put it in the news. Put it on the tube across the board, because a lot of times everybody's looking at TV. So rather than basically going with programs like football and baseball and this, that, and the other, says, okay, fine, what we're going to do now is that all the programs now are going to be talking about the pandemic piece for the next 15 minutes. Everything. No football, no TV. I mean, if you want to look at TV, you got to see that piece, okay?
Yeah.
And then basically talk to how do you get it and why you're doing this, that. But spend a little bit more time about the seriousness of the program, that people are dying every day, 1,500, 2,000, I mean, per day, and put their face on it. I mean, I'm sure there's some creative kind of marketing where people can kind of look at it as if from a standpoint that
we are our own worst enemy.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are right now, and we're leading. Not only we're the leading nation, if you will, that's having those kinds of numbers, because a lot of folks are just avoiding it as if nothing is happening. There's no such thing as a pandemic. I was thinking about that the other day. Oregon State. I was looking at Oregon State there. That was quite a game. They played. They played Ohio State. They played Ohio. Oregon? Yeah, Oregon played Ohio, and they beat them. They beat them, and they had over 100,000 people in the stands watching that game. Oregon went all the way to Ohio and beat them. But the bottom line, I saw all those people, and there was even in the stand, there was a number of Oregonians that had gone to the game, who could afford it, right?
Okay.
They'd gone to the game, but the rest of the folks were all Ohio students, and that's the future of this country. Young folks, that's the future. They're going to college. All these students, everybody was vying for a photo. So now we wait around. About a week or so later, that's when the sickness come in.
Okay.
There was no checking to see whether or not they had any cards. There was no checking about the mask. I saw a lot of folks there they didn't even have any masks. They were just partying, just having a blast. But then 2 or 3 weeks from now, that's when the issue's going to hit, and there'll probably be a spike. Folks will be getting sick. You see what I'm saying? And then we're right in the middle of the flu season. We're right in the middle. I mean, they're issuing flu shots right now too. Got me? So anyway, I think that there needs to be just a common sense kind of a discussion, kind of a deal among folks that are communicating to the public at large. And because people are at home, that TV is almost like another person sitting in the house. Everybody's got an extra person visiting, so to speak. So, but you got CNN and you got Fox, but those are the two major ones.
Oh, yeah.
Of it. But the bottom line, they're spending more time in politics, and most people don't. They're totally. They're just sort of against the whole issue of politics. But the fact of the matter is, that's a communication piece. In some way, shape, or form, these folks, I'm talking about that media folks, all those guys are making $1 million plus. They're making $1 million plus and having fun.
Okay.
$1 million and having fun. And the first people are watching are looking at it from the standpoint: does this really represent us? Does this? What are they communicating? Are they communicating? Are they educating and informing us about this particular issue? No, because as that's what I'm saying. I mean, what's your thought? Any thoughts about that?
On
the media piece. Because that's what we got, a visual, just like we're doing right now. We're educating and informing.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what we're doing. We're educating and informing. That's what we do on both of our shows that night.
I mean, it's so much in the news that people that are unvaccinated and get sick are 11 times likely to die than other people.
Right.
How much information do you need?
Yeah. But how do you get them to understand that? Until you can put them in a position where they maybe you in their mindset where they're laying in bed with these tubes going all over the place, and and it's their face sitting up there. How do you do that?
Get much information to them. They can see a television.
And you know, I'm sure you've been through the same thing in that I watch a lot of this media stuff. And, you know, I've even seen it where you've seen some person that said, I'm not going to wear this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to take the shot, and this, that, that. And the next thing you know, there's a little newscast that comes out and says, so-and-so just died.
Okay.
Or they'll take a photo of that person in bed. But then a lot of those people don't want you to take photos once you get sick, you think?
It's just a different world to them.
I know.
Whether or not they want to get vaccinated and take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Just don't care.
That's quite a point. That's a major point. But anyway, I guess we can agree to the fact that we need to talk a little bit more about as far as the public. Talking to the public, I think the public needs to be given the opportunity to hear these discussions from this particular standpoint, just common sense stuff and whatever. Take the politics out of it. I mean, totally take the politics out of the pandemic.
That would be helpful.
Yes, because and I said what's so important. Another good piece was WHO, World Health Organization. You know, I mean, suppose that was an organization where all the doctors would get together. You know what I mean? They have journals. They'd have discussions about various medications and this, that, and the other. It became the authority on basically responding to pandemics, to keep it in check and solve the problems. And all the doctors, I mean, we've got universities. You go to school and you pick up your doctor's degree, the whole 9 yards, and all. We got this organization, and all of a sudden you got people saying, "I don't believe what Dr. So and so is all about." Well, what do we have in education? The person gets a certificate that says, well, look, they're sort of an authority, and then you got the layperson sitting over here, politics. The layperson over here, he didn't know what he's talking about.
He
or she.
Governor and the president pay people to come in and advise them about this.
Right.
That's why people should listen.
But they don't believe. They don't believe. I mean, you know, we got that whole deal. We got organization. They put doctors now on the tube, if you will, and right up front, and then they fall right into the politics too. Should it be a separate show, you think? What do you think?
Okay.
Should they be part of the politics? What do you think?
It seems you can't get away from it.
You just
Right.
you can't get away from it. And like I said, it's so mixed up now. But again, that's why we're bringing the issue up.
People should do what they know is right.
Right.
They really
right,
should.
Right. But the idea is that if you got politics in it, they're going to be motivated by that too, as to what to believe in. And if you got a stronger voice on one side than the other side, and they're just talking about politics. They're talking about the presidential race. Now they're talking about the representative race. I mean, it's across the board, that
Right.
deal. I I had the opportunity to look at Your Voice, Your Vote from a local standpoint with Steve Dean. That's this KATU aspect of it. Very interesting show. And here you've got a guy here right now. He's basically put his hat in the ring. He's running for governor.
Okay.
He ran before the governor aspect of it. But we're talking about 8 months down the road. I mean, people weren't getting involved in that kind of a deal.
I should know his name.
Yeah, it was. That's the star or something like that. But he ran. But when he ran for a certain period of time, and then he got out of the race. He was a Democrat. He got out. He's running against Kate, and then he got out, and then he supported Kate Brown.
We need someone else
Right.
to get in there.
And I looked at some of the things he was saying. That again, they weren't talking about the pandemic, this, that, and the other. About solutions, about some of our major issues. Right. You got me. When he threw out the stuff that was on the table, he said, well, what is he bringing to the table? So here we go again, another political kind of a deal. He's not bringing any solutions whatsoever about the problem, whether it be about the protesting situation, whether it be about the pandemic situation, whether it be about the housing situation. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, aspect of it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was another interesting piece. But the visual means a lot to people because everyone has one of these things in their home.
Yeah.
How do you convert that to the seriousness of the pandemic piece? And I mean, I've been making some points, but these are open, so just discuss them. So have the discussion like we're doing right now, and hopefully the media will do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about just even the visual. I'm talking about newspapers too. In fact, they should be giving the papers away to make sure that the people pick them up. I like the idea of the Tribune and the Willamette Week aspect of it. At least they're out there and you can just pick up the paper. But the Oregonian, you got to pay for it. Got me?
By golly,
Yeah.
the price just went up at the 7-Eleven.
Yep.
It's $1.50.
Yep.
Now it's $3.
Jesus Christ.
I was very surprised. Actually, I couldn't find that price on the paper.
What's that on the Oregonian?
That's what the guy. He took my $3. That's all I know.
The Oregonian?
Yeah, I wanted that one issue.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, we're gonna Bob and I Bob's gonna be on the second half hour. We're gonna talk. Bob and I I'm gonna throw that out. I may have him spend a couple of minutes on that piece too, because he's pretty well versed in the whole issue of communication along that line, and I think it's very, very important. As much as we can spend time to try to educate the public about why it's so important to know how to look at the news, right, and how to separate politics from life issues and this, that, and the other, our medical issues and things of that nature. We're right into that crush right now. Nobody has the answers. No one can stand up and say, look here, I'm the authority, I know what I'm talking about. Because you can find an equal number of people that will say, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or no, she doesn't know what he's talking about. But again, like I said, the thing that really gets me is about the fact that all the ones that I see on national TV and the politics, all the media folks, are all making $1 million plus. They're making $1 million plus. And the average little Joe who's dying every day, looking for the answer,
Yeah.
for someone to say, what do I need to do to get rid of this cough? What do I need to do? Where should I buy my food? Where should I do this? Where should I do this? They have none of that discussion is there for them. Got me?
The people in the hospital that have this, are sick from this COVID,
Yeah.
are thinking, I wish I had done vaccinated. I wish I had done
After the fact.
after the fact. They say it's just hard to believe that they have to wait for that to be convinced that that's
And
what they should do.
the person who's pushing that piece is that visual too. the visual too, and in all due respect, not just the visual. You got radio. They do that piece too. That's the media. That's part of media, right? And you got the newspapers, right, across the board. And like you said, if the Oregonian is charging them $3 now, and you can.
That's what I had to pay.
Yep, and I noticed that the Tribune, they're basically still asking for money, but you can get. They're still putting issues on the streets at no cost. But if you wanted to deliver it to your home, you can. They're asking you to, you know what I mean, pick up a subscription. You get my point? See, and the Willamette Week the same thing, but they're still on the streets. They've been out there on the street too.
I just got a thing in the paper, a little full handout that said you could get it 7 days a week.
Yes.
It'd be another $30-some to get it 7 days a week.
But the pandemic should be free. Anything, it should be free. These people are dying. These folks who are basically saying the heck with it. These folks that are lined up at the, excuse the French, at the fast food shops, if you will, buying a hamburger for 50 cents a piece, or buying one and getting 3 free. That kind of stuff. And then they're having problems. No masks, no nothing. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But again, you might think that from the visual, from the viewing audience, you might think we're spending too much time talking about this stuff. Well, trust me, time is, and we're talking about your life.
Yeah, that's right.
We're talking about your life and your livability. Maybe you can be aware of the fact that when you get up and you have to go around the corner to the store, you'll be a little bit more aware of the fact that when you're standing in line or you're around a bunch of folks and you're talking, and people don't have a mask on, or this, or you don't see something like ask the question, well, have you taken a shot, and just take it for granted. If you're going to be sitting in bed talking with a group of guys playing dominoes or whatever, well, man, let's show the cards. Let's show the cards. If you don't have no card, don't get in it. But see, we need those kinds of examples. And again, like I said, I'm just throwing we're just sitting around here now talking about just some thoughts about this. It shouldn't be just us doing this. It should be major media, any other media, anybody that has influence and have access to people, should be educating folks, the masses, on an ongoing basis. Just taking a little time to talk. If they're sitting up in the front of a tube and they're being well represented, they got the viewership and this, that, and the other, well, darn it, I mean, take 30 minutes to sit up there and get that point across. Take 30 minutes to, rather than sit up there and hear the 1,500 people are dying, identify the people that are dying within that local area and put them on TV. Put their faces out there. Let the people see that these are real people. It's not just a number. We're living in some serious times right now. You got me? And the closer we get to the, excuse the French, to the election process, which is about 8 months from now, aspect of it, and right up front, we're already in the elections aspect of it.
We're to one for next year in November.
Yeah. But we're in it right now, though. I'm just saying right now. We're in it right now. People are running for office right now. They're talking about issues and this, they're attacking one another, and they're not doing anything towards solutions, as far as I'm concerned. Because they're trying to mix, it's like water and oil. They're trying to mix oil and water,
okay.
And it won't mix aspect of it at all. So look, we're going to go on and we're going to bring Bob on now. I'm going to bring Bob on and we're going to see if I can hit Bob to hit some of that local stuff. And
okay.
Once you just change seat, once you just go out here, just have a seat over there with Bob. Yeah, we just change with him.
Okay.
You take your stuff up, then we're going to get Bob here, and he'll rap a little bit. Okay? Well, folks, that's what we're going to do. Why don't you go behind me this way, Rich?
Okay.
Go down that way, and we're going to do it that way. And sit down there and listen to what we have to say, okay? Got me? All right. Okay, we got Bob. Bob Williams is going to be coming on. You've seen Bob. He's been around here for quite some time. He's got quite a background in politics, and let's see, what's that main staple that he really, golfing? I know he's got that one in there, and he's been on that deal. But I will say something about that golf. He's got a lot of air out there. He's out there in the field, right. So he got a lot of air. And all those guys are hitting that deal. If they start breathing hard or whatever, they won't be out there because they got to walk. They got to walk that field aspect of it. Bob, how you doing?
Real good, Bruce, and you?
Oh, you got my cover on. You got my cover on today.
What can I say? I'm proud to say I served in the United States Air Force.
All right. Sounds good. Well, you've seen Bob here before. I'm sure you've seen Bob before. And Bob, as you've heard, and again to the viewing audience aspect of it, we're still trying to get our act together here at the studio. You know what I mean? There've been all kinds of changes and this, that, and the other, and that's why we sort of open it up. We're getting back into the studio. And for the benefit of the viewing audience, 'cause a lot of people have called me up about complaining about that Zoom stuff, the freezing.
Right.
It just takes it's a distraction. You and I had no problem.
Right.
We don't have any problem with that. But the fact of the matter is, people are so stressed out. You got me? And they don't have any other natures and things like that and do the things that we're doing. Because we're looking at that stuff on the tube, and that becomes part of our menu.
Right.
Every day. And so, but unfortunately, the masses don't get that, and that's kind of like one thing. So why don't we say, let's see if we can bring this issue local, some other issues aspect of it.
Okay.
Have you heard what we were talking about in reference to them? Anything that you think that we should share with the viewing audience,
Well,
from your perspective?
Well, on the local, we have so many things going on the local level. Mayors being recalled, the pandemic, and people being defiant. It's not. They have, their reasoning just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I was talking to a young man at the golf course, and he was like, "Man, you got your mask on. Why you got your mask on? You don't need no mask." And I said, "How old are you?" He said, "What's that got to do with it?" I said, "Well, it don't have a lot to do with it, but I hope you live to be as old as I am."
Yeah, right.
And by being defiant on this issue, you're taking the chance. It's like you playing Russian roulette. You started out playing Russian roulette with one bullet in the gun. Now you got 3.
Right.
I say, so your chances are, since you don't feel that this is necessary, your chances are getting really, really slim of you surviving. I said, but more so than that, you have kids? And he said, yeah, I got 2 kids. I said, well, if you got 2 kids, why aren't you caring about them?
Yeah.
I says, do you realize that more people have died in America or in a year, in 2 years, than died in 3 world wars? I says, that's how serious this is. This is just America. This is not worldwide. This is just the Americans. 500,000 people have died.
What about the attention? Was he there? Was he listening? Did he see?
He was listening, and I said, I can understand you young people thinking that you have eternity to get it right.
Yeah.
But eternity is only a minute long.
Did he call you old man and all that kind of stuff?
No, he wasn't that
He wasn't
dumb.
gonna do that.
I'm 6'5" and I only weigh 220, and I look fit for my age.
Yes,
so
right.
he didn't want to go there.
Was he playing golf?
He was trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of those really good guys.
Yes.
But he was worse than me.
So
but it's still. I got sons and brothers and sister who didn't think this thing was real.
Okay.
My sister caught it. Her family is now her sons, her daughters, her husband. They went and got vaccinated.
Okay.
My son here in Portland. Well, Dad, I don't know. I'm thinking about I said, man, trust me. Your mother and I have got it, and you can't come to my house until you get it. God works in mysterious ways. He caught it. His son went out with his friends and caught it, brought it home, gave it to him, and my 12-year-old granddaughter, and his mother.
Wow.
So all of them got it. Do you know what my son said? As soon as I can, I'm getting a shot. My other son, who was kind of hesitant, he didn't hesitate any longer. He went and got his. Once you see this in action, it changes your mind. I'm fortunate enough to say that my family survived.
Same here.
I know a lot of people who I couldn't even go to the funeral. I couldn't go to the funeral home because of their family passing away. I couldn't go and console them. I listened to their stories of how they were outside the hospital window,
Wow.
and the nurses gave them the thumbs up or the thumbs down,
And that's a
when
visual.
yeah,
See, but a lot of times they don't show that on the tube.
right.
Just periodically they might throw a little bit on the news, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they should see that.
That's
Visual.
it. And so I'm like, my Lord, what does it take for us to
Yeah.
become Americans again rather than a political party?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because this is what has happened. This is what happens to destroy a nation when you get so political in your thought pattern that you forget about where you are and who you are and what's going on in your country. This is a way we can destroy America. It won't be destroyed from outside. It'll be destroyed from within. And we're on the path of destroying it. That's the way I look at it. So, I would say to anyone that can hear us, can see us, you don't know what's in a hot dog. You have no idea what was in that flu shot that you took, or that you did, the hamburger that you just ate. But yet you eat that. You don't think about all of those things, but you can open a can of beans and don't know how that can of beans can sit on the shelf for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. Some things that they have out there can stay in that package for a year, 2, and you'll go eat that, but you won't take a shot to protect yourself and your family and those around you. It makes no sense.
Well, you make that good point about, like you said, the beans and the cans and the food that you eat and aspect of it. And we still have a system where it originates, where they basically put that can of beans together,
Right.
that they check to see what goes in it.
Mm-hmm.
You call them inspectors, right?
Right.
And all the people that are around could still be having the virus.
That's right.
Having a problem. See, now they have that check, but slowly but surely, money is basically now saying, okay, well, now you got to have an extra person to do this, or we got to infrared this, and that. Say, well, I don't have the money, so guess what? Just slip it through.
Right.
And so a lot of times, people in areas where stores or with let's put low income folks and this, that, and the other, you could surely tell the difference between the food in a low income area
Oh, yes.
and a well to do area.
Sure.
Straight
I
up.
call it second. It's kind of like building a house.
Yeah.
You can get an A-graded lumber
Yep.
or number 2.
Yep.
And so it's the same thing with the food.
Yep.
But the thing
Say
that
it.
our people just don't understand is that when you look at political parties and you begin to listen to what they're saying, you should be able to reason. When someone tell me it's more important to have a company than to care about the people in this country, why am I voting for them? I'm a people. I'm not a country. Why am I voting for that person that's going against taking care of the citizens of America? I tell you one thing, if you had watched the television 8 months ago, you'd have seen a lot of one party saying, oh, the vaccine ain't this, and you don't need to wear a mask, and you don't need to do this. Now you won't see as many of them saying that. You know why? A lot of the people they know die. For me, Herman Cain was a perfect example. He wanted to show black people that, hey, you don't have to worry about this virus. I can go to Oklahoma without a mask and sit in the middle of all these people. After the president has said, well, you don't have to worry about it. And what happened to him? He caught it and he died. And then you look at Chris Christie. He was another one. He changed his mind once he caught it. But these are people. When the president caught it, his family wasn't going to be vaccinated. He caught it. Everybody's vaccinated. You don't hear him talking about don't get vaccinated, but you don't hear him talking about go get vaccinated. They took care of themselves, but they're not taking care of the American people. I mean, come on, folks, wake up, smell the coffee. I told my brothers and sisters and some friends of theirs one thing. I said, why in the world do you think there's something in this vaccine that they're putting in it to track where you are when you have a Social Security number, when you have a cell phone, when you're online as much as you are? They don't need to put something in your body to track you. You're tracked already. You don't think so? Go and put your name into certain apps and look at what they have on you. I did it yesterday because I wanted to see what it said. It brought up my ancestors and everything that's going forward. I was like, wow, I didn't know this app existed. These are the things that we need to be concerned about. Why in the world are we not concerned about our well-being? It makes no sense to me. And to all of us that have been vaccinated, it makes no sense to us. I know that I could catch the virus. I realize that. But I also know that I have a better chance of surviving it than one that catches it that hasn't been vaccinated.
You're taking heed of the precautionary.
That's right. So I'd rather, it's the same thing as wearing a seatbelt. To me, getting vaccinated is like wearing a seatbelt. I'm driving my car. I am not expecting to have an accident, but if I do, I have a better chance of surviving with my seatbelt on than without it.
Yeah.
So, come on, folks, let's get wise.
I want to bring a couple of points. As I was listening to what you were saying. Again, the politicization, show you how strong it is. See, like you mentioned Kane and you mentioned Christie and this, that, and the other. But again, that's that two-party system.
Right.
Whoever sits in the main seat, you know what I mean. So if the Republican is sitting in the same seat as the president, it's a whole different ballgame because the other entity is being anti whatever they bring in.
Right.
And now it has shifted today. So now the D's are kind of in the seat, so it's shifted aspect of it. So, but at the same time, the issues that should be discussed in the political piece should be issues on homelessness, housing. I mean, things those are the issues that should be discussed. But the definition of politics today is kind of like a situation where it's limited. It's not talking to the masses issues. It's just talking to the few. I got more dollars than you, and and since I got more dollars than you, you're gonna have to take my lead.
Right.
I'm gonna buy up all the time around you. You don't have no opportunity to get yours on because you don't have the money.
Money talks.
See, that's what I'm saying. But that's not what we should be looking at.
Right.
When we're quote trying to find leadership. Leadership should be talking about the issues and solutions. Solutions only.
I agree with you 100%. And when everybody wants to jump on President Biden now because he is forcing.
He's sitting in the seat.
He's forcing people to do what is good for the country, not necessarily good for him politically.
Right, but still it's political.
And so what he's doing is he says, wait a minute. You won't go get the shot. Well, here's the solution to this. I'm going to mandate that you get the shot, or that you get tested every week, and that you this or that, whatever it is. The other side of the aisle says you can't force us to do this. Well, wait a minute. It goes this way. I say. No, he should not be forcing people to go and to get vaccinated. What he should do is tell them, hey, if you get sick and you have not been vaccinated, you pay that bill. Because we understand money. You pay the bill. You pay your medical bill. You pay for the ventilator and all of those things that comes under. And down. That takes care of that. People get vaccinated because they understand that how much it costs. Once they find out the cost of doing this, once they take away some of the privileges for not doing this and protecting the others in America, then Americans will come to the forefront.
But now remember now, shots are free.
That's what I'm saying. Shots are free.
And people won't
Everybody,
take it.
and now that's where it ends.
But why aren't they taking it?
Because they have listened, and they have listened to people that have come up with reasons why not.
It's called politicization.
Right.
Politicizing the issue.
Right.
Okay? And I'm just saying that's the problem. So whoever sits in the seat, if
Yes.
you will, has their politics.
Right.
And the other person who's outside looking for the get into the seat has their politics.
Right.
See? So they can't in all due respect,
So
if
it's
a
all-
person is outside and looking to get to the seat, can't sit up there and say, I agree with you.
But they can.
No.
But that's the smart part.
No. This Bob.
Why in the world would you want your voters to die
No, but that's not
to
the
take
issue.
the chance?
That's not the issue.
I know it's not, but it makes those others on that side that nothing has happened to go, I like him.
Well, both
You know-
sides, mindset-wise, both sides, the way the country is, both sides are basically looking at the same thing. It's not the voters; they're not caring about the
Right.
voters. Either side, whether you're sitting in the seat right now and now, that's what I'm saying. If we were talking about issues, if we were dealing with issues, then the person who's sitting in the seat would be talking about let's solve the issue problem, and the person that's sitting outside could have maybe a better solution for solving the issues. If they could look at it that way, then they could still then they can have that so-called was it rebuttal, if you will.
Right.
But talk about the solution of the issue.
Well, as an ex-union rep, I understand sitting down and talking. I understand, but you can't come with a closed mind on either side. You got to be open, because you're not going to get 100% of what you want. I'm not going to get 100% of what I want, but we got to meet somewhere in here so that it's acceptable to both sides. And that's what our Congress has not been able to do, is to sit down and talk to each other, talk and be civil about the issue, and it's comfortable with both sides. I got to win, you got to lose. You know,
But you're right. But we had a process at that time that it worked that way, but it ain't working anymore.
Right.
A lot, in all due respect, even the unions, in many ways, they're having the same problems.
Sure.
They're falling in the same category,
Well,
so to speak.
union members, see, people have this misunderstanding about a union. A union don't dictate. It follows the lead of its members. The members run the union. And if you don't think so, check out the ballot. When those members are not happy with the leadership, you know it, because you don't get to
But
vote.
what about the rules?
The rules,
Once they control the rules.
no, they don't. And that's the other
But
part.
it's called a contract.
The contract is voted on by the people. There's no union that make a contract.
No union make a contract.
No. I served, before I became a union rep, I served on the committee for the contract.
Well, let's get. I'm liking this discussion.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the police union.
Well, now I'm glad I don't live. All I can say is I'm glad I don't live in Portland.
Who controls the contract?
Okay, see, that's a different type of situation.
Now, wait a minute, Bob.
That's a different type of
Okay,
situation.
let's talk.
Okay.
Really, because they're looking for a solution too.
No,
All due respect.
well,
we the people want to look. But see,
the people are looking for a solution.
yeah, but those are the elected officials.
Well, the
Representatives.
elected officials gave, and I hate to say this, but I have to. The elected officials gave the union too much power. You know,
Why?
they gave away. There's a thing called management's rights, and they don't have any. Your state elected, your city elected officials don't have any rights.
Even state.
You know, they gave it away to the police union. And I know Daryl will probably give my
Daryl
number
be
and give me a call.
No, he's around. He's
You
gonna
know,
be around. He understands.
Yeah.
My point is that hey,
but
they
he's
voted
doing
on it.
what he can.
Yeah, but-
You know, if you give me the power, I'm not going to not take it. And so the city has given them the power. You know, if I was this city, If I was in charge of this city, I would tell I'm the mayor sitting there, and I'm the head of the police. I'm telling them, here's the things that needs to be done. How dare you say that you had too many other things to do than to stop kids on the bridge from drag racing or whatever they were doing up there? How dare you say that men can be shooting at each other in downtown Portland in broad daylight, and not one officer shows up? How dare you? No. Hey, if you're not going to do your job, all of you find a job someplace else. Governor, send me the state troopers to protect us until we can hire some people and get them trained.
Where'd you hear that from?
Huh?
Where'd you hear that from?
I don't know.
Right here on the table.
Oh, did you say that? See, great minds.
We said it.
Yeah, great minds
but
think
see,
alike.
But in all due respect, I've known you for quite a while.
Yeah.
I knew you were a union kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I also knew the unions at a table negotiated back in the old days.
Right.
They know back and forth. But the other people on the other side of the deal that were representing the people had some idea of what's going on.
Right.
So they had the issue, and they made sure that when they voted on the deal, man, the 51% was with the people, if you hear where I'm kind of coming from. But like you said, today, most of the leadership that's being elected to office
Don't have a clue.
no idea of what law enforcement is all about. They have they just got up there, got elected on for what this, that, and the other. And right up front with our Portland City Council sits in that arena, in all due respect, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be negative, but that's just where it is right now.
Well, my thing was when you're working with someone, or someone is working for you, and you come out and say, we're going to take the funds away from them.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Right.
Let's think about what you're saying. I could tell that wasn't what they meant. But when you make that statement, there are people out there that's only have tunnel vision, and automatically the police go, we got to protect what we have.
That's right. Well, that's why they have negotiations. In all due respect, it'd be even more embarrassing. But I think that might be a way of solving the problem, making those negotiations public, on TV, publicly, and in the newspapers.
Well, that's the worst thing in the world to do, is try to negotiate with the public watching.
But my point is that you see where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that knows exactly what they're doing is one side. The other side don't have they don't have the representation. We just talked about this.
If you get 50 people in a room and you got 50 ideas, you'll get nothing done. Let's be real about that. You know that, and I know that.
We do it with judges right now. The judges are now showing the cases, the deliberation. And
that's one thing, because the judges are sitting there as the sole. You know, they got 12 jurors, and they're the sole person that's going to determine how long.
But he's listening to the facts on both sides,
right?
And then at the end of the day, the decisions and the results of that of what he comes up with is really he basically just he's the coach. He's a referee. He say, okay, fine, this is the way it is, and that's what we're going to do.
Well,
he doesn't represent just himself, you know.
No. It all depends on if you decide to go before a judge and it's just you and the judge. The judge is going to listen to both sides and going to make a decision based on the facts that is presented.
Yeah, both sides. Yeah,
but if you go in and it's a jury, you got 12 people over there that's going to go back and deliberate on what you told them.
Right.
And then they're going to come to the judge with their findings.
Right.
And the judge says, you've been found guilty, therefore the law requires this.
Right. That's what
okay. So now with your politicians, they're, instead of the people telling them what they want, because we're supposed to be electing people to do our bidding. All of a sudden,
that doesn't exist.
All of a sudden,
that doesn't exist. Now, come on.
All of a sudden, these politicians are doing things to make sure that they get elected the next time.
That's right.
That's all.
Well, I mean, because you know the politics of it too. We want to have these discussions. It's good. We got the city of Portland.
Yeah.
We've got a mayor who was known as kind of the chairman of the board, so to speak. but he also is the police commissioner.
Right.
He has no idea what police is all about, and he has no idea of all the other issues. Because he's basically there, and then you got the city commissioners in kind of the same boat. And I'm not trying to be negative against them at all. The fact of the matter is, we got a problem,
Right.
And then that's why the masses are saying, "What's going on here?" But so the consequence is kind of like saying, "How can the voters get back to the table?" Only way you can do that is
vote them out.
Vote them out, and we got I think we have an opportunity here. There's a recall sitting at the table, but whether or not they get those numbers, the money's now fighting it the other way because the newspapers, i.e. the Oregonian, Willamette Week, and Tribune, are the ones that basically endorse Wheeler
Right.
in that slot. Now they should spend more time solving this problem. They should be at the table to help solve this problem.
I bet you 95% of the people that's going to vote on this issue have no idea why.
Yeah, that's right. So you're talking about which one, the recall?
The recall.
The recall, yeah.
They have no idea why. Why was he recalled?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, but like you said though, they have no idea, and then it should be the responsibility of the media to educate those masses out there. That's what we were talking about.
But it's all one-sided. You get the media. See, the media is not the media anymore. Remember, it used to be a news media, and now it's opinion media. Their opinion. It's not the facts, and that's what it's made this so
what about when you say the opinion? But you're talking about individual. You're talking about reporters, right?
I'm talking about.
Do they have background? Do they have background?
It don't matter.
No.
I don't want to hear your opinion. I want you to report the news. Tell me what's going on.
But you still got to say who you're talking to.
Huh?
Who's going to do it?
The reporters.
But you just knocked them off.
Huh? No, I'm saying that reporters today are not reporting the facts of the news. They're reporting their opinion of the facts of the news. And that's a totally different entity.
Yeah, but
that's
the reporters have a supervisor. They're supposed to be picking up the news. Then the supervisor makes sure that they're doing the job, right?
Nope. The supervisor is making sure that they get enough viewers. So if this is confrontational, then viewers will watch. If it's just, I remember when I first came to Portland, and I don't remember ever hearing anything about a shooting in Portland. I don't remember them talking about deaths in Portland, and all of that. Today, when the news come on, there's a shooting. There's so many people been killed. The first 15 minutes of a half an hour program is based on things that make you go, huh, rather than what happened. There was a shooting in Gresham. 2 people were shot. They have no facts, but they sensationalize it and to make you come back and listen again. And that's what I'm talking about.
It's still an edge,
we need instead of going, there was a shooting in Gresham. As soon as we have more information, we will tell you we'll give you the facts and let it go and move to the next thing.
But why even mention that part? Why not
until
just
you have the facts?
Yeah,
right.
And then do it.
I agree.
See what I'm saying? Got me?
Sure.
And then and just another little point on that piece. We're gonna talk about that too. About gun control it's like he who has the gun controls. That's gun control.
Well, I got 2 of them.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? But everybody has guns.
Yes. I went out and bought mine 2 weeks ago.
So,
I said I am not going to sit in this house gunless.
But the sadness of this whole piece is that a lot of people don't even know how to even shoot a gun.
That's right. And I keep telling people, we were trained by the best.
As if to say, with all due respect, you got a problem at home or something at night, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you might have fell off or something. You're at that age factor now, you might have fell, and then you got to go get the neighbor. And then all of a sudden, say your son go out there and knock on the neighbor's at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, bang!
Yeah.
I mean, you see where I'm coming from?
Sure.
So that's a discussion that we need to have a little bit more, and have the NRA, the National Rifle Association.
I got a remedy for gun control. It's a real simple one. You shoot a gun in the city, you get a year in jail. You hurt someone with that shot, you get no less than 5. No less than 5. So you kill someone.
So you're going to be running?
I'm not running.
You ain't involved?
I'm not running because the people don't fully understand how important it is to.
But we need to
have
have the
control.
discussion. You understand?
Right.
We got to have a discussion, and I really I'm going to be trying to access in the NRA, the National Rifle Association, have them because they should be a
Right.
part of the process. Got me?
Well, if I'm selling guns and my members are gun buyers and go, why in the world am I going to come and talk and say things to discourage them from owning a gun?
Yeah, but right now they control the leaders
That's it.
because they pay them the money to get elected.
Right.
Because if you ain't got no money, you can't get elected.
Right.
Oh, you understand what I'm saying? So
And
we need to have a
take the
discussion.
money, take the money out of politics. It's real simple. If you own a TV station in the community in which someone is running, they automatically get 15 minutes on your station a month.
You can't not now, sir. Not in the capitalistic society. No. You got to pay. I mean, look, unless you gonna give me a some pension of some sort on the side. Because I mean, I'm not gonna be able to buy this equipment if I don't have any money.
Well, that's commercials and everything else coming in that buys your that.
Yeah, but
people don't realize that a long time ago, we used to have television shows that showed you at least 22 to 25 minutes of TV. It went down to 20, and now it's down to 18.
Yeah.
So they're making money. They
I
know
got
how to
you,
make
I got
money.
you. Well, look, this is being good. This is being good. I mean, like I said, that's the direction we're going to be going here at the Voters Digest to try to educate the public. just keeping it simple, stupid. You remember the KISS
That's right.
aspect of it, and we're just going to have to really just start putting some stuff on the table and inviting various guests, if you will, that will talk to some of the issues that we're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. We got a problem in this city, and we need to discuss these issues, and that's the direction we're going to go. And it's not trying to blame anybody particularly. No. We all got caught because if you're sitting in those seats now and you got a problem.
Well, the citizens is also a part of it.
They got to get to the table.
Because we backed up and said we elected
the media.
them.
Media has basically been elected to folks. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and the money pretty well controls the media, if you know what I'm saying. The people who have the ads. So consequently, at the end of the day, because the people with the ads who can buy the ads, they don't even live in the area.
Right.
Okay, see what I'm saying? So that's a different ball game. See what I'm saying? So look, we've come to the end. We want to thank you for being with us. I tell you, we could have gone here for another 2 hours.
Oh yeah,
there's no problem. I want to thank Richard, by the way, for being with us, and thank Bob for being with us. And join us next week. We're going to have a heck of another show. Have a good one.
Yeah.
This is good. See,